the members of the Florendo family, distinguished guests, my beloved countrymen. I was about very young, as in young. I had the occasion to accompany my father to visit North Davao, then a part of one huge province. And I can remember that at that time, there was a talk about Mr. Florendo who fell off his horse and that he was injured. And my father asked questions about the state of the abaca plantation. Yan o ang una ninyo. I was small then, but I realized that the hugeness of the plantation. Few years later, you branch out into the banana industry, then to real estate, and to something big, really big, and it is really DITC, which is the biggest now. I remember also your Damosa, the historical landmark of the Florendos here in Davao before, because it was the dealer shop that we bought our first car, yung Galaxy Ford. Yes. Yun ang una namin. At yun na rin pinakahuli. Because thereafter, my father transferred to work in Manila. You know what I just maybe not so learned philosophy about world trade. We are shrinking very fast. What used to be 1 month to cross the Pacific, something like just about a matter of 2 weeks. And the boats are fast, and the aircrafts have become high-tech, and we are actually near to each other, even in a matter of state nations. Sa naalaala ko doon sa mahina kasi yung economic teachers namin. Pero what I remember from him was this, the constant theory is that whether you export or you import goods and services, you go always for the fastest, the safest, and the cheapest. Nowadays, seems to be that all has been prophesied about a decade earlier. But this time we are full also of troubles. Instead of making the maritime sea safe, international waters secured for everybody, we have now the conflicts in Africa, the narrow alley there that passes by Somalia, and of course the Moluccos, where there is a constant threat of piracy, they call it. And so yan ang nagugulo natin dito ngayon. And also this time, there is a threat, not really a threat, but it could be a potential plus point, itong China Sea. For as long as China would just remain its posturing now and does not in any way continue to build structures that would prevent or obstruct maritime journeys there, okay lang. Ang problema nito, if it continues to build up, as we have just read the intelligence report last night, and there seems to be new barges coming in, and they suspect that it's going to be another construction somewhere. E pagka ganon, and when the time comes that there is really a military institutions, everything will violate the constant theory that my economic professor told me. Because one of that is that it must be the safest and it must be the cheapest, the shortest. Because if you don't, you go up around the Pacific. Ang problema nito is we do not really know what the intentions of China are. Ano ba talaga gusto niya? Because if he continues building military installations there, everything will go up. Then trade in this part of that alley there, that corridor, would go up. And insurance would go up for the ship and the goods that they transport. Because then it would be a source of conflict, and thereby the threat is always there. And so the actuarians now would say that it is not as safe as it used to be 5 or 10 years ago. And so we have every reason to increase the insurance. Pag kaya na ang pumasok, then I'm afraid that my professor was correct. That it could not be the cheapest, the fastest, and the shortest route. Yan ang problema. I'll just limit myself to that. I have nothing against China now. I do not intend to raise the issue before the ASEAN, because if I do, there's going to be a convoluted thing there. Kanya-kanya na. When as a matter of fact, it is just an issue between the Philippines and China. I will not, because I do not want any clutters there. But for sure, and you can be very sure of this, that when we face bilateral, kung magkaharap na kami sa mga counterpart ko from Beijing or somewhere, I said there will be a time when I will say that this is the arbitral ruling. And if you want to talk to me, this will be my platform, and we do not go out of the four corners of this document. Whether you like it or not, I proceed, and my predicate for my willingness to talk to you would be the arbitration judgment in our favor. It has nothing to do with being afraid. We do not have to be afraid of anybody. We can maybe fight, maybe can lose a battle, but if it's a war, well, I don't know how many nations will get into it. We are all for peace. I do not want to ignite anything there. I've been holding my tongue, and as my nature, probably you know by now, I'm the guy that would just blurt out anything that enters my mind. But, that is not an idiosyncrasy that would be personal to me. I carry on my shoulders the burden of this country. I am the president. I take care solely of the foreign affairs of this country, and I should be wary of my behavior and gesture, and even in the official and personal capacity. Yan lang ho ang makita ko dito, na everything is all right. You see ships beyond the boundaries of our international waters. But sometimes there are things that would just crop up. It has never been raised before as assiduous as this. But now, if you ask them, China would just say that we will not honor it. Huwag natin banggain muna. Because there are no formal talks. But you can be very sure. Pag kami na lang eyeball to eyeball, sabihin ko talaga, let us not talk of anything else. Let us talk about this arbitration. But not now. Timing lang ho yan. I was a bit, it was unsettling coming here. Sakay ako sa chopper at nabasa ko yung report that yung Coast Guard made some little trips near them, and there are a lot of barges, and a barge. What is the purpose of a barge?